Firstly, I want to thank everybody for joining us on this beautiful Wednesday evening. I believe what we're going to share tonight with you is of the utmost importance to get your thinking right about money and wealth. Um, this training came about after me and Rich speaking, and I told Rich that I need him to start thinking like me, and I gave him some resources to go and research. And the next thing I hear is doing a mastermind for his own group, and I think, why is it only doing it for his group and not for everybody? Because it's valuable information. So I twisted his arm, and he reluctantly agreed um, to allow everybody in MyWealth to benefit from this training. So thank you, Rich. We appreciate it. And I believe what we're going to share with you guys over the next 10 weeks can really make a massive difference on the way you approach wealth, money, and yourself. So with that opening, Rich, over to you.
Thank you, Charl. Let me just share my screen here. We can get going. All right, can everyone see that? Okay, I take it there's no funny things on the screen or anything like that, so we can get going. So welcome everyone. Thanks, Charl, for that welcome, and thanks for allowing our group to share this information with the rest of MyWealth. So thank you very much. So we're going to look at, as you would have seen on the invitation, the formula of success and the mastery that we can achieve around that. Here's a quote that I found from a wise man who said, "There's more than enough money out there for all of us to reach a level of financial independence that allows us to live quality lives, serve our community, live our passion and our purpose." I think if you look at that statement, you might see the definition of what success should mean or could mean to us. So please do think about living your passion and purpose, because that will bring you closer to success. So is success about making money? Well, 99% of the world thinks that success is about making money. Now, if you realize that, there's a lot of people that do actually have money, but not everyone can be, sort of defined as a success, because they might have forsaken everything in their life for the sake of money. So they've lost their relationships, they've lost their children in the process of just making money. Now they have money, and as it's been said, that some people are so poor that they only have money. And that's definitely not where you would like to be in life. You'd want to be successful, knowing your purpose, and also having a balance. And that's balance is relationships as well as the business sense. Right, so you don't want to be one of those 99, you want to be one of the 1% that can be successful. Now, if you're wondering about money, and often, you would have been in other opportunities previously, and they would have told you about the possibility of achieving success. Well, firstly, there's a few problems with that, is that you firstly have to go and make the money and then find the success. What we're going to show you in the next 10 weeks is that you already have the success. And if you haven't achieved the success that you need, that's probably the reason why the money hasn't followed yet. So that could be the case with many of us. But what we need to understand is that first you achieve success and then the money follows. So it's the mindset of success that becomes more important than any of the other trappings of what we think success is. If you're not sure you're going to make money, familiarize yourself with the planner. If you can't see that, and here's an example of the average investor that starts with $2,500. After 6 years, you'll have $1.26 million in this example. So isn't that enough for you to understand that you don't have to concentrate on making the money. MyWealth's going to do that for you. You just have to concentrate on your success. And that's what we're going to try and help you, is to get to that point where you understand your success and what your success can mean to you and to your community, your family around you, and everyone else. So the question should really be, is once you've made this money, how are you going to keep it? Because you need a success mindset to keep the money. And then perhaps you'd like to speed up that 5 to 7 year process, because as we know, what you would have seen by using the planner, typically it's a 5 to 7 year process that you're looking at, but you can speed that up. But the real question is, are you ready for success? Is your mind ready for success? Have you conditioned yourself so that you understand what to do and what your purpose is? Because money will follow your success because you have a purpose. So in the next 10 weeks, we'll be looking at the whole formula of success mastery. Remember, success is about you. Money is just the byproduct. And we'll also be looking at a concept called the wealth creator. Now, at this stage, I'd like to ask Charl just to give us a brief summary or an idea of what a wealth creator is. So over to you, Charl. Thank you.
Thank you. Guys, I want you to make a distinction between riches and wealth. Riches is when someone have money. They might live in a nice house that might belong to the bank or not. They might have a nice car which might belong to the bank or not. But for all apparent reasons, they appear to be wealthy, but they actually only have money. That's not a wealth creator. That's someone who's rich or potentially rich. A wealth creator is someone that does not actually talk about money. He understands the two railways, which Rich is going to talk about in one of the following slides, what is important about in life. And in summary, that is, you've got a business track, you've got a relational track. And he lives from relations into business. He does not live just in the business world or just in the relationship world. Many people that talk about money, is obsessed about money, are those who only live in the business world and they chase money. That's the end goal. And they usually acquire riches. You've got the other hand of the people say, no, money is evil. And they only focus on helping the poor and doing things for people. So they heavily focus on the relationship side. And you will tend to find that they don't have money. And yes, they might have good relationships, but the lack of finances in their life is hindering them to actually have successful relationships, have successful relationships in life. A wealth creator is someone who has these two in balance. They've got both money and relationships, and the two serve one another. It's not in isolation of one another. With most wealth creators I have met in my life, is when you speak to them, you actually don't hear them speaking about how nice their house is, how big their house is, what they do. They don't talk about themselves, or actually money. They usually talk about and ask you about your life and try to figure out how they can solve your problems, how they can help you move forward. And because they know through solving problems and helping other people, both the tracks can be established, both relationships and business. Rich.
Thank you, Charl. Thanks, that was wonderful. Thanks for that insight. I must say, it helps us understand where we all need to go as well. So thank you so much. So MyWealth can help you find your purpose in life. You'll hear when Charl and the leaders of MyWealth share about MyWealth, they'll talk about finding your purpose. They're also not talking about money, because they realize that once you find your purpose, that's where success lives in your life, and all the other things will follow. So what is success? We need to ask ourselves that, and then try and define it. And over the next 10 weeks, we're going to be looking at success and how you can unlock success for yourself and understand it better so that you can continue on your journey of success. So men will ask, they often ask the question, am I successful? They will also ask, do I have what it takes to be successful? Who knows what women ask? Any clue, any guess?
Am I beautiful?
Absolutely. That is exactly what women ask. And so you need to tell women that they are beautiful. That's part of your success.
Ladies, in case you were wondering, you are beautiful.
Absolutely. Thank you, Charl. So that is what it's all about. But we need to find out what it's going to take to be successful, because that's the question that we all need. Charl mentioned about the fact that the wealth creators are there to solve problems. You're an entrepreneur. You have been given this opportunity because it's one of the opportunities, or probably the best opportunity that I've ever seen, where you can actually address the problem that people have. What does it take to be successful? But this is an opportunity that's going to help you be successful. It's going to teach you, and it's going to grow you, just like these sort of training sessions that we're having now are helping you to grow. That is what MyWealth is going to do for you and everyone you meet. So you've got something valuable that you can share. So MyWealth is going to be part of your success. And the quicker you realize that, the easier it is for you to get onto that journey of success. You were created to be successful. You were not only born a successful person, you are success itself. Success is already in you. It's not something you need to look for. It's there. It's just a case of you need to unlock it so it can manifest itself in your life. It's there. You have everything you need to be successful. It was put into you the day you were created. Miles Monroe said the following. He said, the graveyard is the richest place on the surface of the earth, because you will see the books that were not published, the ideas that were not harnessed, songs that were not sung, and drama pieces that were never acted. I encourage you to do something with your life. Find your purpose so that your purpose does not die with you, because you're the only person that can ever accomplish what you were put out on this earth to do. No one else can do it. It's your responsibility to achieve what you have been set and tasked to do. And the biggest difference that we can make, and what we're called to do, is to make a difference in the lives of other people. And that should give you an idea about what your purpose is and what success would mean to you. It's when we make a difference in other people's lives. So all those things can come along, but ultimately, when we realize that we're here to make a difference in other people's lives, that's when we start to experience and live success. So you'll notice that this series is called the Formula of Success, not the Formula for Success. Often we'll hear words and we never understand quite what the meaning of and why words are used. Now, in this context it means you are successful already, and this is the formula of success for you, and that's what we'll be unpacking. If it was the formula for success, that means that it could be achieved, or it might be possible. In the case of this is the formula of success, it's already in you. And all you need to do is unlock what's already in you. You might wonder about words, and one of the words, and we talk about education in MyWealth, and one of the problems with education in South Africa is a word. It's not really that there's a problem with education. There's a problem with the way education is defined in South Africa. It's called basic. Now, that is, many people seem to think that basic is okay. Well, if I wanted to be in a marriage, would I want to be in a basic marriage? No, I would not want to be in a basic marriage. I would want to be in a good, healthy, wholesome, successful marriage. I would not want a basic marriage. Now, if you look at the word basic in the terms of South Africa, all it is a disclaimer. And we've been in these sort of things long enough to know what a disclaimer is. So when you come and say, oh, but there's a problem with education, all I can say to you is, what didn't you understand about the word basic? So moving forward, do not have a basic goal for yourself. Do not have a basic idea of success. Have a full idea of success. Have a fully fledged goal. Do not have anything basic. You do not want a basic income. That's something you're going to hear in the future as well. That is not what you need. You need success. You need excellence. You do not need basic. Okay. There's a saying that you should fake it till you make it. Now, if success is already in you, you don't need to lie. You don't need to fake it. You are already it. So you are success. You are successful. And I think this saying by Amy Cuddian, if you've never watched a TED Talk, this is the second most viewed TED Talk. And if you want to educate yourself, I encourage you to watch the TED Talk so that you can give yourself more education about things that are happening around you. And she says, if you feel like you shouldn't be somewhere, in other words, you have an idea that you don't belong, well, fake it. Don't do it not until you make it, but until you become it. You see, it's in you already. Success is there. All you have to do is do the actions. So, there's the just do it type of thing that we all know. And when you're doing something, you will become it. And that's what we're going to unpack for you in the next 10 weeks is how do you do and what do you do so that you can become it? You don't have to fake it. It's there. Just do it. And it will become, and you will become it. You will become the success that you were intended to be. Success is a plan. Now, we must discover our talents, our strengths. Remember the 2 weeks ago when the strengths were shared with you? There's a reason why it was there. It's not just a random thing that Doc Ant decided, I think we should have this. There's a reason why you need to know your talents, your strengths, your gifts, your passion, your values, and your creative purpose, because that's all part of your success. That should be part of your plan. Do you have a plan? Have you written down your plan? That's important. Now, why? Some people will say to me, no, hang on. It's not, I'm clever. Yes. And I know there's a lot of clever people out there. And I can keep all these plans in my head. That's true. That's like lots of random thoughts, like the 10,000 thoughts that you have on a daily basis. They're all random. None of them mean anything. And if your plan's in your head and you haven't written it down, well, it's just another random thought, even though you think you're very clever at thinking. Let's see. Why do we write down things? It's not so that we can't forget them. It's so that we can decide when we see something in black and white, what is the most important thing we need to do. And when it comes to your success, you can't spend your time discovering everything for yourself. You need to decide what's important and then find yourself people who can teach you the things you need to know, because from their experience, you will learn things a lot quicker than if you're trying to learn it on your own. And that's why we have groups like this and mastermind sessions, so that we can learn from each other, as opposed to just trying to do a self-discovery and try and find out what's happening. Let's be clever, let's box clever, so that we can help each other discover the things we need to discover on the road to success. Remember that a plan includes an enormous amount of small steps. There's no one big plan. There's no silver bullet. You have to do the steps. And that normally involves, they say, to become proficient in something, you need to do 10,000 hours of it. And when we talk about 10,000 hours, it's not like random hours. 10,000 hours is like the marathon of 10,000 hours. It's not a rugby match. You don't get half times. You don't get timeouts. It's a constant amount of steps. And it's to get to your 10,000 hours as quickly as possible. If you get there too slowly, you'll probably find out that you have to start the clock every time it gets too slow. It's a bit like trying to train for the comrades, and you know you have to run 200 Ks a week, or whatever your plan was. But if you can't decide, well, this week I'm not going to run, but next week I'll run 400 Ks. It doesn't work like that. That's not how success works. Success is an enormous amount of consecutive small steps. You can't take a holiday on your road to success. It must become a lifestyle.
There's a quote by someone that says, "Success is the constant application of the formula."
Absolutely, yes. And as we go along, and I think that there is a formula, and I think as from next week, we'll start unpacking the formula, and over the 10 weeks, you'll actually see the formula develop so that you understand what the complete formula is. Now, success can be a point. That's an achievement. It's like getting a degree, finishing a project, getting a car, whatever. And those things are amazing, and we should celebrate those type of milestones in our lives, but never settle or get comfortable there. So you might have said, I want to make $1 million, and let's hope it's not R1 million. Let's hope it's $1 million. But when you get to $1 million, your next target should be the next 100 million, okay, or the next trillion. Remember that when it comes to success, it's so important that we need to choose the right people around us, okay? It's so easy to say, well, am I the cleverest guy in the room? Well, yes, I'm the cleverest guy in the room if I get stupid people around me. Then I can easily be the cleverest guy in the room. But if I really want to decide to be something, I should rather find people that are a lot more cleverer than me and then associate with them. So I'm constantly being challenged. That's what it's all about. Make sure that these milestones that you set for yourself are real milestones, not just an easy win. We need easy wins. There's no problem with easy wins. But remember that if those easy wins happen and it never makes you go for a difficult thing, well, then you haven't achieved anything. So you've got to keep on pushing yourself. Steve Jobs said, being the richest man in the cemetery doesn't matter to him. It's going to bed every night saying that you've done something wonderful. That's what matters. That's where you want to be. If you want small wins, let those small wins be on a daily basis so that you can say, I've done something great today. Let tomorrow be better. Success is a journey. That journey is measured by your own plan. Because people often say, well, yes, success is this, and it will differ for everyone. But it's measured by your own plan. So how do you know you're successful? Well, have you got a plan? can you measure with your plan? Is your plan sufficient? Is it structured enough? Has it got enough meat to it so that you can say, I've achieved this, but I haven't achieved that? That is what your plan needs to tell you. So your plan is your measurement. No one else, we're not asking people to judge you. You're not asking people to judge you either. And you want to know that you can look at your plan and that can be the goal and the measurement for you. I mentioned about your plan being in your head, and it's all about taking a thought captive. The Bible says we should take a thought captive. What does that mean? How do we do that? Well, there's an interesting thing about thinking. And I can tell you that a lot of people think. They really think a lot. But the problem is that they never take a thought captive. So what does that mean? It means that if you think, do you think about what you think about when you think? So in Afrikaans is nou, dink jy oor wat jy dink wanneer jy dink. Okay? Because if you don't do that, then you will never realize which thoughts are important and which have no meaning to you. Then they stay there and they just become more and more random thoughts. So think about something. When a thought arrives with you, think, why am I thinking this thought? What do I do with this thought? Can I speak to someone about it? Can I share and find out what this thought means? Or can I find out for myself, what do I do with this thought? Is it valuable to me? Should I be thinking about it, or is it just useless and I discard it and I get another better thought? So that's what you must always be doing. Take the thoughts captive, use them to your advantage, ask, why are you thinking like that? That becomes very important. What is your ultimate purpose? And how will success help you further your purpose? If there's something you're going to write down about tonight, write that down. Ask yourself, what is your ultimate purpose? And how will your success help you further your purpose? Because if it cannot help you further your purpose, well then why are you even trying in the first place? Is it just because you think you need something? Well, as we're going to discover, you need a real commitment to success. And if you don't know the answers to why you do something, you're going to run out of motivation along the way. So find the answers. Think about these things so that you don't run out of motivation along the way, so that you can say, no, I know what my ultimate goal is, and I'm going to push forward until I get that goal, until I achieve what I've set out to achieve. Success is purpose fulfilled. What is purpose? What does it mean? It's the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. Your purpose exists for a specific reason. You might not have discovered your purpose yet. Hopefully, through the process, in the next month, in the next weeks, in the next maybe years, you will discover your purpose. It's never too late to discover your purpose, but the quicker you discover your purpose, the more fulfilled life you will live. And yes, purpose fulfilled is definitely spelled wrong. Right. I don't know if someone put a comment there, but I don't see the comments at the moment, but I noticed that. You will never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. I remember hearing someone say, how do I make my life 100% better? And if you think about that, that can be like a daunting task. But think about it this way. If you take 100 things that you do on a daily basis, and you make each of those things just 1% better every day, you've had 100% improvement in the day. So it's how we understand things, how we approach things, that will ultimately determine whether we find enough energy in our daily routine to become successful. Eat the elephant one bite at a time. Try understand something before moving on to the next thing. Otherwise, you fill in your mind with a whole lot of things that probably become meaningless because you haven't spent enough time on it. It's like trying to do the 10,000 hours randomly. No, find something, focus on it, become good at it, and then move on to the next thing. It might take you a couple of minutes, it might take you a day or two, but you can do that and make sure that you are telling yourself that success is in you because you can see the results daily. Success is a lifestyle. It's the daily disciplines, the goals, the personal management, the self-investment, the daily commitments, activation, plans, and much persistence and endurance. You need to develop that in your life. Keep on keeping on. That is the key to success. There is no, when you think you've accomplished something, you've got to ask yourself, what else can I accomplish? What is my next goal for myself? What is the next thing that I want to do? And hopefully we will help you to unpack and get those ideas into your mind so that you can realize that success is actually a lifestyle.
Guys, and I just want to encourage you, Rich, just the previous slide. The persistence and endurance is not a struggle. We're going to teach you that the secret to endure persistence and endurance with a smile on your face. I know sometimes my face doesn't know it should be smiling, but there's something that will be unlocked within you that will give you an immense capacity to generate the success that is in you. But before we get to that, we're going to cover a few things that we're going to build upon, and then we'll reveal that to you. So don't worry. And yes, we're just talking about a lot of pushing through endurance and step-by-step approaches. And it might sound daunting, but I want to encourage you that when you approach life and success in the right way, it is actually fun. Okay, it's actually enjoyable, and because of a lifestyle that is then based on principles that is enjoyable, you will reach success naturally. I'll comment again when you're done. Thanks, Rich.
Thank you. So, how do we measure success? Success is measured by what you have done compared to what you should have or could have done. So we know what we're capable of. And that's how we measure our success. Did we achieve what we wanted to achieve? Could we have done more? Are there more possibilities? Because life's about possibilities. Sometimes when it comes to money, and that side of success, you can say, well, yeah, I think I've achieved everything. But then look at your relationships. Look at the relationships you have with your spouse and with your children. And then you realize there's a lot more that could have and should have been done. And that's where success is measured. Have you got the perfect relationship? And I don't think any of us can say that we've got the perfect relationship, but we can certainly say that we work on our relationships and we put as much effort as possible into our relationships. And that's how we measure it. So, the money is just one side of success, but the relationships, we could have said, yeah, we've worked really hard at, our job. Well, have we worked really hard at our relationships? Could we have worked harder? And, that's when we start getting that balance into our success. We are relational beings. We are created for relationship. Like a fish needs water to live in. We need relationships. If we don't have relationships, we don't breathe. we need to nurture those relationships and look at our relationships and say, how do we improve those relationships? Because once the other things are there, it's only really the relationships that are going to matter. Because all our money and assets are only a means to an end. They merely exist to serve our relationships. If you think about your money in the end, well, it's a legacy that your money is going to leave to serve the relationships so that you know that you have looked after those relationships for the future, because they will remember you and they will thank you for that relationship that you thought about and you started, and the responsibility that you had to the future relationships. That's what it's all about. Charl has spoken to you about wealth creators and how they're different from rich people. And he mentioned that they are simultaneously successful in the money world and in relationships. They live a balanced life. Don't get confused between wealth creators and wealth creation. Because if you had to Google wealth creation, all you'll find is a lack mentality. Because wealth creation is all about those people who think that wealth should be shared with everyone else. And nowhere do I find any value in that. You need to create wealth for you and your family so that you can help others. It's not about creating wealth and distributing it like the low levels, the really unsuccessful would like to happen in life. So wealth creation and wealth creators are definitely a very different topic. Now we're coming to the end.
Just on the previous slide, I want to make you aware of a certain point. And this is a lesson I had to learn in the hard way from my father, and I was fortunate that he was willing to teach me that at a great emotional cost. The journey towards wealth or riches is not about the making of the money. It's about the journey. It's about the self-discipline. It's about the self-discovery. And you becoming what you are. And those people who are, let's just call them the disfortunate, believe they are entitled to whatever you have done without any growth. If they get access to what you have generated without the growth, it will destroy them. You cannot handle the wealth, the true wealth, without the growth. Your capacity should not exceed your wealth, because it will destroy you, it will hurt you. And that is the biggest thing that I have seen that destroys relationships and wealth, actually. And that is that the people who inherit the wealth, the riches, or the people who get it, that haven't grown into it by either generating it or working with someone who has generated it, is that the moment they receive and become in control of that, it is destroyed. And it doesn't just destroy the money, it destroys them and their relationships. And at the end of the day, they're far worse off. And you will many times hear me say or see me do things that some people might think is ridiculous. But I had to learn that the process is much more important than the destination. And one of the things I tell my people is, I will never do something for you that you can do for yourself. I'm going to repeat that. I will never do something for you that you can do for yourself. And the reason for that is because I want you to go through the growth process. You may continue.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, those words you need to share on the group, Charl, so that we can remember them.
I'll ask my editor to edit it.
Good. Thank you. So as I mentioned, as we come to almost the close of the information I'm going to share with you this evening, you need to make up your mind about who you are. And then these are the two main pillars of success. You need to make up your mind about who you are, and you need a desperation to never stop. Never stop working at your success. Who are you? Well, you are actually part of the 1%. You can outgrow the outward challenges by personal education and development. It's available to you. You don't have an excuse. In the struggle to survive, you will always be dissatisfied with life, especially now that you have extra knowledge. So you can't walk away from this and say, okay, well, no, this isn't for me. Well, because you've now seen a better way. There's an opportunity that will always remind you that where you are now is not where you should be, and there's a better place for you. That's what finding out who you are and that process that Charl was talking about is all about. Know that there's more to life and more to what you can achieve to what you know at the moment. Real change starts when you declare the following: I will no longer live like this. I will never again settle for this. I'm more than this life I currently live, and I will never go back to that life. This is my last chance, and I'm going to put everything in. The dream in my life is bigger than what I'm living right now. I was not created to live a degraded life. I refuse to settle for this, and you can add whatever else you need to tell yourself to motivate you to move forward, because there is more for all of us. But there's an enemy here. It's an enemy called average, because it's easy to find a comfort zone, settle for the average, and say, that is me. Now, I'm not sure if any of you have ever read this book called An Enemy Called Average by John Mason. I have PDFs that I can share with you. There are 100 nuggets in this book, and they're very short read. Basically, you can read 2 or 3 of them on a daily basis. And a lot of the material in the book is exactly what we talk about in these 10 weeks. So what I'm going to do is I'll just, how do we share the Charl with the group? What do we do?
I'll just upload it to a cloud server, and then we can share the link.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you. So we'll do that for you. I encourage you, if there's some homework that you've got today, try read a few chapters of this book and get yourself ready for the following weeks. What you'll be finding in the next couple of weeks is that you will need to activate and mobilize that decision that you've just made, that idea that you're unhappy with where you're at. And through these 10 weeks, we will be giving you ways to activate and mobilize your decision that you've made, that you're unhappy with life. So this is to be continued. That's where we end for this evening. We'll now open the discussion. If Charl would like to say anything more, please do. Otherwise, we open for questions and the discussion. Thank you.
Guys, before we go into discussion, I want to share with you the greatest breakthrough I have made in my journey towards success. And it's actually so simple. Who of you are tired of trying to achieve success, and you work hard and you try to do things, and you just don't feel enough. You feel this something is lacking, and yeah. And what I'm going to tell you now is maybe meant for another platform, but let me share it in any case. My greatest success came when I understood my identity. Now, if you ask me who I am, the answer is quite simple. I'm the beloved of the Most High God. He created me in perfectly, in fullness. He gave me all the skills, all the resources, everything I needed to fulfill my purpose. My purpose is different from your purpose. And once I realized who I am, I'm not a guy on earth trying to make money. Because money comes, money goes. And I can tell you, it can come fast and it can go even faster. Okay. But if you can work from a position of rest in your true identity, you're a son or a daughter of the Most High God, and He loves you and He's giving you everything at birth to accomplish what you need to accomplish. You do not have to be something you're not. You just have to become more of what you are. That is your success. And for some people, it means bigger houses, bigger cars, because that's the way they accumulate wealth and they function in the business world. For other people, more success will actually be smaller houses, smaller cars. For some people, it will be working with animals. There's no money in that. Success is not about money. It's about fulfillment. It's about purpose. It's about, at the end of the day, you can look back and say, I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. And money in that picture is irrelevant. Generational wealth is not created by trusts and companies and money. It's generated by establishing the next generation through relationships to handle that what you've left. So I want to urge you this week to go establish your identity. Understand from where you are. So in principle, men, you are enough. You're not lacking. You are enough. God will provide all the resources you need to do what you need to do. And I can testify to that on the 25th, I don't have the money in the bank account. On the 25th, I can pay everybody who I need to pay. And I have learned to operate from a position that I am not the provider of Charl. God is the provider of Charl. Because when I try to do it, it's stressful. Okay? It's really stressful. Okay? And ladies, you're beautiful. You are awesomely made. You are enough. And if we can accept that, and we can understand who we are, and then from that position of rest, start operating and start helping other people in whatever gifts we have. Some of you have gifts to help children. Some of you have gifts to help the elderly. Some of you have gifts to help those who are sick. My gifting is in finance. But we all have it. But it's different from one another. And if you can operate in that, then you are successful. And MyWealth has been designed so that you can focus on what you want to do so that money can work here in MyWealth for you. That's what the way MyWealth has been compiled, is that you can do what you were called to do and money can serve you. We're all kings and priests. Does a king ask someone to do something for him, or does he tell? He instructs. He has the authority. All authority has been given to us on earth. So instruct the money to work for you. Because it should. You should not be working for money. It should be working for you. So with that being said, let's open it for discussions. Any questions, or if something was a breakthrough for you, please share your screen and unmute yourself and share with us what was your breakthrough, your aha moment tonight. And again, not everybody at once.
Charl, I'll share one pearl of wisdom that came through that right up front. That to me was a bit of, it wasn't aha, not a bit of an aha. It was the difference between the formula of success versus the formula for success. Just that one pearl of wisdom can change everything in terms of how you approach it. And that changes how you apply yourself towards it. Thank you.
Awesome. Mark.
Charl, I think there is a huge amount of information here, and we can see that we've all got room to improve spiritually, physically, mentally, and helping others as well. So I think, I don't know if this is going to be recorded, that we can go through it again and again, because I think there's so many points to take it and went through so quickly. I think you need to go through it a good couple of times to reflect on it, to look at self-improvement.
Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you. Grant, you can just unmute yourself.
Am I on?
Yes, Grant, we can hear you.
I'm just glad to be with the group somewhat far around the world here. I'm looking at 143 people on here, and I got a lot of good points here, and I'm looking forward to going back through it too. But the thing that I pulled out of it that wasn't spoken is that none of the 143 people that are here just by chance. I believe I'm here because God connected me to some really wonderful people, Juanita and Rich. And I think gratefulness has a lot to do with this. Just being grateful that we're here and operating in gratefulness is such a gift. And that's part of the expectation, I think, that you're talking about, that you have an expectation that good things are going to happen and that you're looking for it. So I'm looking forward to the rest of the weeks, and I thank you all for pulling this together.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Grant.
Thanks, Grant.
I'm going to ask, is it Mayra? Mayra?
Yeah.
You can speak?
No, I just want to say that can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I just want to say I'm very blessed to be able to attend this meeting. And I think each and every one of us are blessed. And the person that told me about this opportunity, I'm thankful. You are in the league. I'm feeling a bit, you can hear how I talk. I'm feeling a bit, it's like my heart is a little bit sore, but I'm so thankful that I can belong to you, to your group, to MyWealth method. I'm really blessed, and I want to tell you that you guys are awesome people. And thank you so much. And I'll be attending each and every Zoom, and we can move forward. We've lost a lot of money, really a very lot of money. And at last we've come to a place that we can stay, and we know we will not lose our funds again. And I thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate you sharing.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Rian, ek gaan net gou vir Fani vra, dan vir Chris, dan kan jy praat.
Good evening all. Yes, my aha moment tonight was I retired at 38 and I thought I've arrived. And the aha moment was to measure my success, not what I've achieved, but what I could have and should have achieved. And literally having to look at all areas of my life. And I just want to thank you for opening that up. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Fani. Appreciate it. Chris?
Hi guys, hi team. testimonials like saying my our moment was meeting you guys 3 years ago. My first encounter was Doc Michelle, then Doc Anthony, then Charl Coetzee. Now I'm meeting Rich. Guys, a little small testimonial. That's how I became successful, meeting the right people in my life. The first step that I ever took, and I think it was Dr. Michelle that said it in a Tiger Valley Zoom meeting with one of the other platforms, was to make a decision. I made it there and then. Yeah, I'm sitting, retired, enjoying Charl's education, and just now working on my future and my legacy. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate that. Rian. Je is nog steeds gemute. There you go.
I think the main thing that we struggle with, or what I struggle with, is you think success is just achievement. I think success is truly firstly in God, and that's one thing that I learned from Charl and this whole MyWealth method journey. Because if you don't start with God, then how can you put all your other successes in the road? So I think that is why I also took the chance, because I didn't think in the way Charl and them. I wasn't brought up in that way. But I can just say, if you go that way, God's way, and you are with the right people, and I think we are with the right people. So thank you for that. That's what I got from this. We need to start from the Creator.
Awesome. Guys, I want to encourage you that you're not belonging to the right people. You are the right people. All of us here belong because we are. So understand your identity, and take up the authority that's in your identity. Don't shortchange yourself because you think success factors are external. They're not. They're internal. And I promise you, once that thing clicks, Ian Alphon, are you on here?
Yes, I am, Charl.
What is that word you called me when you met me?
Which word, Charl?
The one you told me on Saturday?
The knobhead.
Yes. He thought I was a knobhead when he met me.
Yes.
And I think most of you might as well. The reality is, I know who I am, and I know what I'm going to do. And I stand on that. I will not let any person who does not understand my calling or my destiny tell me otherwise. And I've made a decision, come high or low water, that's what I will do. Has it been easy? No, I can promise you. But has it been worthwhile? Absolutely. And I was able to do so because I wasn't doing it out of show. I was doing it from a position of, this is what God has called me to do, and I just have to fulfill it step by step. So Rian, I want to encourage you to take strength and understand who you are, and go manifest the success that is you. Okay, Candice.
Yeah, thank you. This has been amazing, everybody. I know I'm a bit in the dark here, but I've got one light on. So yeah, for me, I'm just very grateful because I can learn from great minds and people with experience that I don't have. And I actually want to become, just humble and just learn. So, and I'm learning from everybody, not just, one person. And I just feel grateful that I also love helping people in the financial sphere, and MyWealth is a nice complicated model for my brain to chew, but at the same time I feel very blessed because it's an all-rounded situation. I think the spiritual part's important, and yeah, I'm just learning, and I just want to become a better person and serve. And if I can be good at that through MyWealth, then to me that's success.
Awesome.
So I'm grateful for this meeting. It's already taught me so much, and for everybody here. We're all in relationship in terms of support and caring for one another, and I'm grateful for the community. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you again. It's good to have you here. You. And then Cecil.
Thank you, Charl. Charl, I work in Iraq in the desert. Sometimes like this time I'm here for 8 months. And being able to be part of this group keeps you actually sane, because the desert will make you insane. And it's an opportunity that I can only be grateful for, to be part of this group and getting inputs from people that is really successful and willing to help you. And that's it. My aha moment were that you actually have the ability already within you, and you must just grow to be more of that ability that was placed inside of you. Thank you, Charl.
Awesome. Thank you too. Appreciate that. Unita. Oh, sorry, Unita. I promised Cecil. Cecil, wil jy iets sê? Ek sien jy's ge-unmute. Ons kan jy hoor?
Charl, praat jy van my?
Ja.
Nee, ek het my nek gekrap, maar ja, I've got something to say, and as we've been discussing and I've been listening, I'm reminded of something that I was taught as a young child. When you look at a wagon wheel, there are a number of spokes. And each of those spokes is something in your life. It is your relationship with your family. It is your financial position. It is your education. It is your spiritual life. It is your physical, how you look after yourself physically and everything else like that. And if those spokes are different lengths, that wheel is not round anymore, and it's a very uncomfortable ride. So we need to focus on our entire lives and make sure that we don't just plan in one direction, but that we plan that our lives become a complete round, and that we look after everything in our lives. It doesn't help if you've got money and you're sick. It doesn't help that you've got money and your family relationship is gone. It doesn't help if you've got a family relationship but you can't look after them. So as far as I'm concerned, we need to keep that in mind and keep our lives in balance, and make sure that we look after every aspect of our lives.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you. I agree. So we're going to call that the Osava principle. Okay, Unita, your turn.
Hi. I think for Andre and myself, we've had a few aha moments in the last 2 or 3 years. Certainly one of them was joining Rich's mastermind last year. It made an incredible difference to us, and it reinforced the persuasion that we have that family isn't always blood. Family is who God gives you, and we certainly appreciate the family that we are now. And the most recent aha moment, and you reinforced it again tonight, Charl, is that we should be living from within without, not from within. Because if we know who we are, that changes everything. If we know who our Father is, that changes everything. We are powerful beyond measure. We are, love is the strongest driving force in creation. And if love motivates you, then you look at everything differently. You look at people differently. You look at the way you think is different. The way that you speak is different, and the way that you act is different. The way that you approach success, the way you approach relationships, the way you approach every project that you handle changes. And it doesn't mean that we don't have down days or things that happen to us that don't for a moment or for a week or for 2 weeks derail you almost. But the secret lies in how you recover from that. The fact that you realize again that the Father is our source, that He uses people and circumstances, and He always has the best intention for us. He doesn't do anything that is not meant for our best. Doesn't matter what it looks like from out there. It doesn't matter. He has the best for us. And that's an incredible journey to be on. And we're grateful. We are so grateful for this journey. To be a part of this journey now is one of the most exciting things that we've done in the last 15 years. And we're grateful. We're grateful, Rich, that you are our mentor. Incredibly grateful. Thank you very much that you adopted us. We appreciate you. And Charl, thank you for allowing us to be a part of MyWealth. We appreciate you too, and Doc Ans and everybody else that is part of MyWealth. We appreciate you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Unita. Appreciate that. Great. Next is Mavis.
Hi.
Hello.
I just got a short and sweet aha moment. When you said that wealth is not money and money is not wealth. The name of your organization is MyWealth Method. And a lot of people will have like an aversion to using those words. But it's made a huge change for me just tonight that it's not about the money. It's about the wealth, and wealth is not money. That's it.
Awesome. Thank you. Powerful.
I had an aha moment after the session, and it was actually when Grant spoke, and he mentioned gratitude. And I remember I used to have a company called Gratitude. And when I was researching the name and understanding, because I'd chosen the name, but I didn't understand why I chose the name. And God gave me a revelation about what gratitude does for us and how powerful gratitude is in our lives. And He showed me a passage, and the passage was long and it had no doors in it. And then I got a message to say, thank me. Be thankful. And the gratitude principle then kicks in. As soon as you bring gratitude in, the doors start appearing in that passage and the opportunities are there. Without gratitude, it's simply a passage. It could be a very long passage, but you can speed up that whole process. You can bring about opportunities into your life by simply expressing gratitude. And that's my aha moment. And thanks, Grant. And many people mentioned the word gratefulness and that sort of thing. And that's what gratefulness and gratitude does for us in our lives. We so often forget to thank for what we have, you know. Sometimes we take things for granted. Well, if you do, the passage is long. but the doors will open as soon as you start expressing that gratitude.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, living from a position of gratitude, it makes life fun. Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Greg, for sharing that. Okay. Anybody else want to ask a question or share something? Just again, thank you for all the feedback in the chat as well. I'm reading here as well, so I appreciate that. And yeah. So just raise your hand or unmute yourself if you want to speak. You there?
Hi, Charl. Thanks for what you and Rich is doing for the group. Yeah, it's very powerful. And I just want to say from my side as well, the last couple of years, I went more inside than outside. So I've done more inner work than outer work, and my life has completely changed. We've started to do more travels, and instead of doing more, physical work. So, but just for doing the inside work, and believing and walking in faith, that made everything possible. And yeah, money is not a worry in our lives, because every month there is money to pay everything. Is that, as you said, one day there's nothing, and the next day the bank account's overflowing. So that's walking by faith. And I just want to say, take responsibility for your own doings, and just do what you do. Thank you.
Why don't you?
Thanks, Ben. We're grateful that you got a shirt on tonight. So it's really
It is cold in Turkey today.
Okay.
A shirt and a jacket. We're getting a double dose.
No, it's only a
It's a
jacket.
MyWealth jacket, is it? Yeah, no, it's got something else.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Thank you, Bear. Lizelle.
Charl, I think what really hit home tonight is when you said not everything needs to be a struggle. And I'm extremely grateful that we're going to have a couple of weeks with you, learning to enjoy the journey and not just work hard and be concerned in terms of how we're going to achieve success. So I think that was really something from me. And if we tackle that with the mindset of and the intention of love and gratitude, I think it can be joyful. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that was my aha moment tonight. So thanks, Charl.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Mark?
Charl, there's lots to be grateful. Unfortunately, I'm looking at the panel of people here. We're missing all the young people. So I think it's also our duty to pass it on to the youngsters, that they can educate themselves forward as well, especially as parents, grandparents, and things like that. So I think we can be very grateful for the opportunity we've given, but if we don't pass it on, it's actually wasted.
Absolutely. Just to quote that text from Bible, the Bible says, I think I can't remember that, but a great man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. It's not leaving it to his children.
Gratitude
it's about we need to start thinking about, how do I equip my children's children? But you do that first through your children and then your children's children. So absolutely, the youth need to be empowered. And I'm of the belief the Jews have something right. From the age of 13, a Jew boy is seen as a man. There's no nonsense like, no, he's a teenager, he can be naughty. No, he's a man. And he's taken into the business and he's starting to be trained as a man. By the time that boy is 18, he doesn't have attitude problems because he's a man. And he has the wisdom, he has the skill set that has been imparted by his father. So yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. Faye B, I hope I pronounced that correct.
Yes, sorry, it says Patty, but it's actually Antoinette. I'm his
Okay,
wife.
Antoinette.
So it's
Okay.
Patty. I'm most probably one of the youngsters on this group. I think I can still say that I'm young. But I just quickly want to say I'm from Egypt. So, well, I'm South African, but I'm currently a missionary in Egypt. And I want to testify tonight that well, everything was an aha moment because God is real. Not going into any detail at this moment, it's not the time for that. But about 5 years ago, when God told me that I was called for missions and for the nations, I was sent onto the field, and God told me to give up everything I had at that moment. I had a car and a house, and I was in the corporate field. And it was a very hard process. I didn't just do it in 1 second, but as soon as that moment came where I had nothing, and God told me to go stay in an old age home and serve amongst old people, and then missions in the Middle East, I didn't have one supporter and I didn't have any finances. And I remember God told me, Antoinette, I want you to go to Kenya. But I had 100 rand on my name, and I said, Jesus, I will go. If you will send me, you will also provide. And a week later, I was in Kenya in a Maasai tribe, and I was staying there for 1 year, for about a month. But since then, I've been in almost 30 flights to various of different countries, stayed in about 9 to 10 different countries the last 5 years, where the last 3 years was Egypt, where I got married to an Egyptian. I remember that I didn't have any support or any finances. But with that, I want to say that God is truly our provider. If He calls us to something, He also provides for that same calling. And in that, where He says, don't you worry about what you're going to eat tomorrow. Don't you worry about what you're going to wear. I remember just how many people thought I was crazy about every single journey and everything that I had to take on. But God did miracle upon miracle upon miracle, and things that nobody can take away from me, because I've seen it with my own eyes. I've touched, I've smelled, I've seen like how Jesus moved. And many times today when I still ask Jesus, God, am I doing the right thing? Am I living out purpose? Just like now, tonight, just before I was going onto the service, onto this meeting, Jesus shared with me some thoughts in about purpose and identity. And I didn't know this is what tonight was going to be about, but point after point after point, God just speaks to us, and He always speaks, but we're the ones not always listening, right? So as a youngster, I want to tell you that if we are willing to listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit, He really wants to share wealth with us, and wealth, not money, by challenging our mindset of who we are in Jesus. So this is something just short, but I hope that blesses you.
Awesome. Thank you, Antoinette, with the funny name. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, I can testify and agree to that. Thank you guys for everything you've shared with us. I learn as much as from you guys as probably you learn from me by listening to you and internalizing your feedback and think about that, because I've said to some people that the journey that I walk with others is actually where I learn and get my information from, and that challenges me to think on a new way. And yeah, so I appreciate all your feedback. I think we've learned a lot from one another tonight. It's almost going to an hour and a half. So I think if there's one or two, we can accommodate that, but otherwise I think we should wind up. But again, I want to thank everybody from how do you say that in English? My airtime is running out.
From the bottom
of my
of
heart. Yeah, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Rich, for spending the time with us tonight, and the willingness to learn and the willingness to share. I think that's where we can really unlock one another's potential and become successful together. So yeah, thank you. Anthony, something you want to say? Just as a parting word from you, and then Rich, I'm handing over to you.
Thank you, Charl. I think I'd just like to quote two of the statements that you made tonight that I don't know you even know they came out of your mouth, but here they are. Take up the authority in your identity, Charl Coetzee. I just think that was absolutely succinct in terms of if you know your identity in Christ, you can actually stand up, secure, confident, and add value to the world. The second thing you said was work from a position of rest. That, to me, is an absolute truth that we so often miss. Because when you can rest in Him and you don't have to rush around like a mad hatter, it will take you to the next level. So just taking your two statements, and then like Ian Hawthorne just said, what really stood out for him was that cash flow is king. And I just want to just say to you, to everybody, I said, type there to Ian, and I sincerely meant it. Stick around, guys. Because there's one thing that Charl Coetzee can teach you with the gift that God has given him is to teach us how to keep money. So keep money to bring us wealth in the end. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate. Rich, you're the man of the last spoken word.
Well, thank you, Charl, and thanks to everyone for your feedback. Thanks for attending this evening. Go and make a few notes for yourself. Whatever was important, jot them down so that you don't forget them. And just have a fantastic week. I look forward to next week and what we're going to be sharing there. So do have a wonderful week and God bless. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to keep this Zoom running for about another 5 minutes as I want to read through the chat. So if you want to copy or paste anything from there as well, you're welcome to do so. But I'm going to switch off the camera and so that we can start winding down. But for those who want to capture the chat, you can do so.
Thank you.
Okay, it looks like nothing. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the night. See you next week, Monday, at the Leaders Lab. And then obviously next week, Wednesday, for the Mastermind.